Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm going to show you how I made my new song Bananza. The vocals are by Swizzy Max. We'll go through all the elements step by step. I'm going to show you how I made everything. But before we do that, let's listen to a small preview first.
Ladies, drop it down. Just wanna see you touch the ground. Don't be shy, just go Bananza. Shake your body like a belly dancer. Hey ladies, drop it down. Just wanna see you touch the ground. Don't be shy, girl, go Bananza. Shake your body like a belly dancer. Hey ladies, drop it down. Just wanna see you touch the ground. Don't be shy, girl, go Bananza. Shake your body like a belly dancer.
Okay, so we'll start with the drums. These are all the drum layers. And what I did with the kick drum, I used some in-between kicks. And that gives a little bit of a groove already. And then I have some rides, hi-hats, and a clap going on here. And what I did, and this is something that I like to do in all my songs, I used the small loop of my song Talking on IG, and that sounds like this. Together the drums sound like this. Then for processing, I put all my drums in a bus except for the kick, and this is what it sounds like without the processing. This is with. It just sounds a bit wider, a bit fuller. I'll show you all the plugins one by one. So the first one is pretty simple, it's just taking away the low end that I don't need, make some more room for the kick and the bass. The second one is a SSL EQ, or basically a channel strip, but I just use the EQ to boost some of the highs. Then a standard clip that's doing a little bit of clipping. I'll show you guys. It's barely touching anything, but it's just making sure that some of those peaks are shaved off. Then what I like to do is use this thermal preset. It's called Overhead Slam, but I put it at 5%, so it's subtle, but I'll exaggerate a bit while we listen. So this is completely dry, and I'll turn it up now. Okay, so that makes the drum sound a bit wider. Then a transient shaper, taking away some of the sustain, and I'll exaggerate this while it plays. As you can hear, it makes the drums a bit more snappy. And then there's two instances of soot, because some of the hi-hats and some of the cymbals sounded really harsh and had a lot of resonating frequencies, so I took those away using soot. And I'll turn them off. It's subtle as well. But together it makes a big difference, and this single EQ is just a high cut for automation. Okay, so that's everything for the drums. Then let's head over to the bass. So the bass consists of 4 layers, and as you can see throughout the song, the first drop just has 2 layers, and the second drop starts with 3, and the last drop starts with all 4 of them. This is my main bass. This is what it looks like in Serum. I just have a low cut on there, some saturation to boost the highs a bit and make it sound a bit fuller, and some side chaining. Then I have this bass on top. And that really gives the bass a bit more of a unique sound. And so this is the preset for it. And on here is some kickstart, some side chaining, overdrive, distortion that's not doing anything. And also some saturation. Then here's my sub bass. This is a Silent 1 patch. It's basically just a saw in a filter. But what I did with this one is some overdrive distortion. And with the transient shaper, I gave the bass a bit more attack. It sounds more like an 808 with the attack on there. And then I have this little growl that just accentuates the bass a bit. And together they sound like this. heading over to the leads and the chords. So for the leads, I have a couple of instances of Serum and also some samples. The first couple of samples are all sounds that I used in other songs of mine, and I'll show them to you. And then this one. And then for the second part of the drop, I have this layer. And this is basically playing the melody of the vocals, but in a synthesizer. I have two layers. The first layer is the same lead that I used for Talking on IG. I'll turn off all the processing. Sounds like this without. I have an EQ, taking away some of the lows, adding some highs. Then some saturation, just the basic saturator preset. I think every producer knows this preset. Sidechain. And then here's something I like to do to give the lead somewhat of a unique texture, or maybe a texture that you didn't think of yourself. What I did is I took a lead of one of my other songs. I used that as a reference and then analyzed my own lead. And what this plugin does is it looks at the reference material, looks at your material, and tries to make them the same. Right now I have this at 49%, but it does make the lead sound a bit more unique. So this is without. And I'll turn it on. So it sounds more like the lead that I used in another song. Then just the Valhalla room and some stereo imaging. The highs were a bit too wide for my taste. And also, if your highs are really wide, it will sound sharp and unpleasant to your ears. Then the second layer sounds like this. It's just there to make it sound a bit more unique. And then I also have some reverses in between, as you can see right here. All right, that's all for the drop leads. And then heading over to the break leads, they sound like this. And it's 4 layers. The first layer is a little synth loopy thing that I use in Talking on IG as well. The second part is some sort of organ from Logic stock. Third layer is a preset by Swag. I think it was in one of his sample packs. Pretty simple saw chords, and then a Reeve bass underneath. Okay, that's all for the break leads. And then also have some effects. I have some uplifters, pretty simple uplifters, sound like this. I have some reverses and some crashes that sound like this. And I have this atmospheric thing. And an impact synth right when the drop hits. And that's basically all for the effects. And then these are the vocals. I'll show you my vocal processing in a different project because over here there's just some formant shifting and some side chaining on it, because I did the vocal processing in a different project, and the vocals sound like this.
Bananza. Shake your body like a belly dancer. Hey ladies, drop it down. Just wanna see you touch the ground. Don't be shy.
Okay guys, that's the whole project. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something. If you want to listen to the full song, it's out now on Spotify, so go check it out. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Shake your body like a belly dancer.